idea about taste. In India, it's the other way around, and in many other parts of the world. We start with taste and we end with taste. Okay? That is why we are the capital of diabetes in the world. Okay? That is why we are in that situation. We've got all kinds of lifestyle diseases because we've got the worst knowledge of nutrition and we've got the worst ecosystem of products that serve the need for nutrition. So this was just a long way to explain that it's not difficult. Will be criticism. Do you agree with this criticism? Oh, that the nutrients will spoil the taste. Okay? Obviously, the guys who are making the product, they won't say that because it's a challenge to put nutrients and manage the taste. But it's not something you can't do. Of course, you can do it. Then you use liposomes. Okay? So the vitamin B3 or B1 that is giving you a bad taste is covered. When it goes into your alimentary canal, it will open up at the right place. Just like sustained release tablets and pharmaceuticals or extended release tablets. So it's not like the technology is not there. There is nothing new about liposomes. They've been around for a long time. You just have to look at ideas in pharmaceuticals and take it into nutraceuticals or food and beverage, and you've got everything that you need. It's just a lack of, let's say, intention to give the consumer the best. They just might as well just look at the price and the cheapest, low-cost option, which you can price at the highest. That is the innovation. Okay, that's what, unfortunately, is what stands for innovation. So the idea is to provoke you a little bit into not accepting that. Okay, on behalf of the larger community, which doesn't know anything about nutrition, you are supposed to be able to find faults with companies, large or small, point it out, follow up, and in your own career, come up with better stuff. That's the best way to defeat that, right? Okay, there's a very interesting idea. I mean, innovation generally happens by design, but sometimes it happens by accident. And we should be open to that, and that's why failure is so important. So this book is full of, ideas that have happened in the scientific world by accident. Okay? And this was a brilliant idea, story about one Dr. Shashikant Phadnis, young fellow, went to England, was serving under the head of department, and he was told by this doctor of King's College London to test something. You know how in Marathi, when you say taste and you say test, it almost sounds the same. Right? Even in Gujarati to some extent, right? We always have that problem, right? Because that matra doesn't exactly come close to taste. So we say taste, right? So he tasted it and he found it to be extremely sweet. And he wrote that in his report. And that Dr. Hoff who gave him the job to do, he had no plans to taste it. He was working on an industrial product. So it was a derivative of sucrose. He was working for an industrial application, not for a food application. But by mistake, Shashikant Phadnis tasted it. And so sucralose was invented, and it is the reigning artificial sweetener right now. Stevia is the natural one, the sucralose is the... So we should embrace serendipity. By the way, anyone knows how the word serendipity is, how is it originated? Huh? It comes from Swarnadweep, okay? Swarnadweep, which was the name for Sri Lanka. And these sailors were trying to go across to the Pacific. They stopped at this island by mistake, serendipitously found Swarnadweep, okay? And that's how it became Serendip, because in Persian it became Serendip and now we have Serendipity. Okay? So serendipity is an important aspect of innovation. One should always be prepared for it. Okay? Not one of you are rather serious about it. It's okay. I was trying to see if I can someone loosen up a little bit. Okay, here are some trends now. First trend, which is most obvious and most integral to us, is the trend towards functional food and beverages. Okay, I can't say that in India it is a faster trend or a slower trend, but it is a worldwide trend and we are also part of it. And the reason for that is because so far, a large number of food and beverages were not talking about nutrition so much. It was a back of the panel kind of thing. Only those who understood what is milligram, what is a microgram brain, and those who didn't understand just saw the name, and even if it said zero next to it, they didn't even get there. They saw protein zero, they saw protein. Okay, it might be protein. And there are people of all level of education in the country. But even educated people who have studied science, okay, have forgotten everything after 10th or 12th standard. They have completely got into whatever business they want to. There are many investment bankers in New York who are engineers, but they may not be able to replace a bulb in their house. Okay, that's very possible. And it happens because our system has basically rewarded everyone who good with numbers, and the only way out is becoming an engineer. And so if that doesn't know how to work as a spanner or pliers or screwdriver, but he got the highest marks and he's now in the magnetic. This is a standard story. I know of people like that. And it's a sad thing, right? You're wasting a career. Somebody else was aspiring to become an engineer, was good at mechanics and stuff, was designed the job, you fit it, you got the margin, and you did something. So if you are taking food technology, you better push that career, get it to the end. Until you are, for some reason, dissatisfied. Of course, if you open to ideas, do anything else, you can be a lawyer, maybe like. But if you decide to do technology, get it in Alabama, okay, so here are some of the functions products. So that is the beginning, because that's a parent need, regulatory immunity becomes the beginning. And neurology is a new area, cognitive because of memory. As you get older, short-term memory reduces. They generally, people my age tend to forget people they got introduced to, and then they have to, in an embarrassed way, ask them that I'm sorry, I forgot your name. That started happening to me. I'm now 56. I have forgotten the age, but it doesn't happen to everyone. But the idea is that if I could practice either through an app, like University or something, if I could keep my trying to remember 10 digits, cell phone numbers, if I do that and don't rely only on Google and calculator and all that, your memory will stay intact. Right? It's all about neuron interaction. So neurotropics help with the enhancing of memory and also sleep and relaxation. Okay. The other one is plant-based foods, natural ingredients. Everybody expects this to happen, right? There's a whole vegan movement, people are against that. They're hyper-local communities, so obviously you don't want your vegetables to come from 500 kilometers away. You want them to be as close as possible. I'm just going to run through these because this is all obvious, right? Then, this is an interesting one. Precision fermentation. Are you aware of this? Using genomics right? So all the plant-based meat products and even milk, it's a surrogate for milk, are made using genomes of the milk, but planted into a yeast or something, and then the yeast does the multiplication and you generate milk out of that. So no animal has hurt in the process, and we have less greenhouse gases. Full lot of advantage. There's a clear example of upcycling. So beer is made using barley, but the spent barley is otherwise thrown away available to animals as a feed. Can be extract protein from it. Because the doesn't need protein in the brewing process, we need the carbs. So you're wasting protein. So from that, they drink 5 cents in protein. Similarly, in vegetarian, and everything. There are also behaviors of hydration, B plus and IAN. So there balance of nutrition and all on required. Okay. And there's no way for you to change people's behavior rather than running from one to another, from one to another. And also they're eating in between. So what has to, as technologists, is take away around it. Then because there's a regulation what's regulating, so there's a lot of part. And something like here, where sustainability also has the word sustainable. If you are not sustainable, you are likely to be low cost as well. So it's a good and then there is the whole thing of using AI to create innovation. Okay? Of course, it's a tool. It's It's not a substitute for you. Your job will not go away because of the AI. Because it doesn't understand the basics of nutrition, etc. But it does help in getting big data, in analyzing data. So lots of people are buying something, obviously there's some reasons for it. And so you can extract data and see, okay, a lot of people are buying this, but they are also deficient in this, maybe I can come up with something like that. Now for a bunch of examples, and the reason we are running this is because I'm sure you can go on and find examples we have the intention of innovation which are in the food industry. But as food technologists, particularly if you look at them, would probably be able to figure out what is there as non-innovation, right? So this is an interesting one. After the juice is extracted, the orange goes out, gets digested, and converted into a packaging material for the cup that orange juice is served. Okay, isn't that a good idea? You're not wasting anything. It's almost like the coconut. Nothing is wasted. Every part of the coconut is something in it. So, and that orange juice has a lot of flavor and stuff in it. In fact, I can use the one with it. Then the other one is about wasting. They have an app in Myanmar where we give you our meals, will carry meals and make sure they don't end up wasting there are several products. There is the last one where there is technology developed as well. That's an innovation. I think that is last. There is a whole lot of non-living knowledge talk about organization. There is a product of people where again the waffle is made from a very chocolate. Similarly, from spirulina, we talk about seaweed. Spirulina is a great source of protein, vegan protein. Put a bunch of ideas and meal in the bottle. So put everything in the bottle. So much more convenient. You don't have to take out your dal and roti and mix it up. Someday, of course, it won't taste great in the beginning. But sooner or later, someone will come up with a good tasting one. That's the last obstacle to worry. Right now in India, that's the first obstacle. If it doesn't taste great, we throw that innovation out. That is such a sad situation, right? Getting taste is like 0.001% of the job. There's at-home testing, so a whole lot of research going on in metabolism and the gases that come out of your mouth when you're digesting either ketosis, you get ketones, or you get carbon dioxide, you get hydrogen. And you can test and measure that and figure out the person's metabolism during the day. And in that great analytical data, now you know, if it's a weight loss program or whatever it is, you can then plan the nutrition according to that. Just last couple of slides of examples, then we'll have questions. This food marble is a similar thing. It's a device with an app that is measuring your input of food and figuring out how much protein, how much carbohydrate, etc. And then telling you, hey, listen, you're going too heavy on saturated fat, don't eat that much cheese, That's the kind of interaction you want. Nobody, your friend is not going to tell you. Your friend is fine if you're putting on weight. Because then you will feel bad if they tell you that, hey, you're putting on weight. So nobody tells anybody anything. They go on eating the wrong stuff. They go on throwing all plans to the trash can. And so an app, if it tells you, you will probably take it more seriously. Right? So there's some work going on that. There's a bunch of ideas on testing the sweat. So like hydration, when you're sweating, like if you're a basketball player, you're sweating huge amounts of while you're playing, like 45 minutes of intense and then another. And so, how do you get that hydration water back? So you can drink a lot of water. What about the salts? So you lost magnesium, sodium and chloride, right? And so, taking the higher amount of salts in the product. So there is a thing called body armor, which is exactly 2.5 times more electrolytes than the normal version for basketballers in the US. Okay? And Grant Hill and basketballers are supporting it. And Coca-Cola has bought equity in it. Because they say, hey, there's a whole bunch of people who need replenishment. And here's a product that offers it. They're not saying, hey, this is a niche product, it won't sell much money, it won't make much money, let's not do it. They say, do it. There's always going to be one step in the innovation that we can go. And then finally there is this allergy amulet. So it's a dark, easy test. You check your food whether it has the allergen that you've got an allergy for, right? You know that what are the, can anyone tell you what are the real cause of an allergy? What digital item really triggers an allergy usually? You know? Suppose you got a milk allergy or you got say seafood allergy. What is it that is triggering the allergy? Yeah, it's a protein. It's a protein, exactly. So there is enough science to analyze the exact protein that is triggering your allergy. So why the hell are you getting an allergy? Check it out. You know, if you've got a seafood allergy, you're not going to go and ask for order seafood. Right? You get an anaphylactic reaction that will be the last day. Right? On the other hand, if you've got a soil dust allergy or a hail fever or everything, it's okay. You don't have to get so stressed about it. So that level of information comes only from data that has to be cleaned from you, right? So personalized nutrition is a big thing. And imagine this innovation. There's a 2 by 2 mm sensor planted on your tooth. Temporarily, you can remove it, I'm sure, which can measure how much sugar was there in your saliva, how much salt was there. And now, if you're a diabetic or have other issues where those are the biomarkers, you've got data now. So you can do personalized nutrition, personalized pharmacy, right? And then the last one is the brilliant one also is for prolonging shelf life of fruits. You know, so reasoning, what is the reason for rotting of fruit? You know, so they have managed to stop that from happening. It's fungal infection usually from the water that was sticking to the fruit. And you think you have washed it, but actually you added a good environment for the fungus to grow. Right? So a lot of people do a lot of washing of fruit, including in my house, and I have to keep telling them that they don't want to listen to it. It's not science that they're interested in. They think that jo dikhta hai, that's what matters, right? So if there's a scuff on the fruit, they will clean it. But what about the germs they introduced, you know, while cleaning it? Maybe they did some other damage. So there are technologies that are available. It's just the intention. If you have an intention to improve something, create an innovation, go for it, get your peers to approve it if you believe that they have the knowledge to do so. And, you know, go behind your belief, follow it until you fail. No harm. Stop there, try something else next time. But don't be afraid to fail. That's where I will close. Thank you.
So we can have
Sorry, I took longer than...
No, it's okay. So we can have 2 to 3 questions. Questions for Suji. Thank you so much for giving a very insight about what's happening in the industry. I could see a very innovative, emerging innovations that are happening in the food. So, any questions for Shriman Suji?
It's okay, it's not a reflection of your ability.
That's good. Thank you so much. So wow, that was such a thought-provoking talk, and those who are working in research can get those nice ideas what are the upcoming trends and upcoming emerging innovations that are directly reaching to your place. Thank you so much, Himanshuji, for very amazing talk. It is just a privilege to listening to you. Thank you so much. And to begin with the journey, we have now our next lecture about Dr. K.U. Naram lecture. And now I request my friend Chinmay Devulkar, who is the Vice President of FST Mumbai chapter, to play the K.U. Naram about the K.U. Naram presentation and as well as introduce our next speaker, Ms. Nazneen Hussain.
Good afternoon. How many of you are awardees here? Raise your hand. How many of you are awardees here? And what is the name of the award that you are receiving? There it is, right? I have already done my work. You already know what is the lecture that is going to be, about Dr. K.U. Naram. But how many of you know Dr. K.U. Naram? the award that you are getting, how many of you know him? Okay, so he's a person way back in 60s, 50s and 60s, worked on blending naturopath along with food science. And that was quite a rare combination. Nowadays we are talking about plant-based food and so on, but those days were the one when he actually blended both food science as well as naturopath, and he got Rajiv Gandhi Award for 1000 plus innovations what he has done in this field. So it is something that was thought much before the trend which is happening right now. So he has a path-breaking innovations. He has been I got so much of thing about him, and I know this is quite a challenging for me to go through this. He has got so much of work done. So he has been the director and founder of Dr. Naram's Health Food Research and Development Laboratories. He is trained under Dr. Gesha, who has the personal physician to Mahatma Gandhi. He has been international lecturer, head of naturopath clinic in Mumbai since 1947. Dr. Naram products were accepted and displayed at Vegetarian Nutritional Research Center in UK, and he has been his philosophy throughout his life at the age of 93 as well was never say die, never say tired, and never say retired. So he worked till age of 93 with his innovations. He did not, just now Mansur sir said that, failure is a part of, innovation, but he always felt that don't say tired. So till the age of 93, he was continuously engaged in innovations. So, so when we have such an eminent personality, the speaker also has to be eminent, and that's why we have Dr. Nazneen and good dear friend. And if I may tell you, आपको किसी भी actor से मिलना है, किसी भी celebrity से मिलना है, she is the person go to. Right? So you can tell about whom you have treated. जो सलमान खान के fitness का राज है, जो शाहरुख खान के fitness का राज है. So all credit goes to her. She is a celebrity nutritionist and has done immense work. And not just celebrity, she is also a chief advisor with Indian Navy. So the entire fitness of the sailors that we see, she has been the chief nutritionist, chief advisor for their fitness. Besides, she runs her own management institute, and she is the president of Indian Dietary Association and many more things. So Nazneen, over to you for very good to listen to you.
Good afternoon. At the onset, after Chinmay read everything about Dr. Naram, I feel extremely humbled to be here. Thank you, Chinmay, for reading this entire profile. And I think it's amazing to see somebody so visionary, to have done so much work, even, and I think their family just extended the entire work. And I think it's brilliant, it's mind-blowing. So thank you so much for the opportunity for me being here. My topic today is traditional Indian foods. Can I put this here? Okay. So what we're going to do today is actually, sorry. as Indians, we are extremely proud of our traditions, and I think a lot of Dr. Naram's work also is revolved around that. So if we look at some of the heritage foods, they began right from the Aryan civilization to the Harappan to the Vedic times to an entire history of 3000 years BC above. Today, when we are looking at conversion of all of these, we look at functional medicine molecules, we look at body healing chemicals, we look at probiotics, antioxidants, and dietary fibers. Okay. However, when we are talking about traditional foods, we have to remember the two, the yogic and the Ayurvedic system of foods, and very beautifully they have actually layered personalities and foods into the Tamas, Rajas, and the Tamas and the Sattvic, and each of them also state of mind. Today, when you see modern science and we look at a lot of extra, highly processed, ultra processed, high sugar, high fat foods, we know that kind of causes a tamasic personality. Okay, so also if you're eating, a lot of people are working on clean label, people are looking on fresher fruits and vegetables, it does create a sattvic state of mind. So if I were to kind of, as a nutritionist, put all of these in perspective, and somebody asked me, are sattvic foods healthy? I would actually say yes, because you look at a whole lot of high calcium, probiotic, polyphenols, antioxidant, low glycemic index foods, all the oligosaccharides coming in, and a lot of vitamins and minerals. Likewise, when the Rajasic food is for people who require the energy. So when you look at athletes, you're looking at sports people. Mr. Mansoor spoke about the basketball drinks. These are some of the things, the higher protein category, which are perfect for the Rajasic category. The Tamasic food again over here, when we look at it, it's all the excess. Okay? If too much of everything would be Tamasic, too much of salt, too much of sugar. The word I'm using is too much. I'm not saying don't use it. I'm saying moderation is important, optimal use is important, and I think one of the bigger challenges with nutritionists and food technologists earlier used to be that while food technologists made one thing, nutritionists said, hey, this is not okay. But I think we've traveled that journey far and wide, and today everybody as a complete team looks at making food in a more healthier format that would be, improving the sodium, improving the fat, improving the salt, and adding much more bioactive. So the Nestle example, the Maggi example is a perfect one on how you could, if you added some more vitamins and minerals, you could make that food much more healthier. Okay. So again, when we look at Ayurveda, it speaks about all the 6 tastes, and I think taste in our country rules. Mr. Mansoor also spoke about that, and so we need to understand what are our tastes. Okay, and every part of the tongue actually tastes food differently. So be it the sweet, the pungent, the astringent, the bitter, all of these are required and essential taste as a part of the diet. Okay, so some of the sources of the madhura, the sweet, we already know, and a lot more innovation can be done. As India, we are already the diabetic capital of the world. Okay, and if you look at natural sweeteners, okay, coming from a whole lot of these, I think it is a great thing. Okay, also the citrus flavors, the bitter flavors, again very very important. Again, whilst we don't talk so much of seasons anymore, and thanks to all the technology, foods are available in all seasons, Ayurveda speaks very specifically for foods for different seasons, and I think it's very relevant. A lot of the health changes today we see is because people eat you begin. Okay, so there is a tradition around food. But today we eat when we are traveling. We eat when we are watching TV. Okay, so the mindfulness has gone away. Now, does that have to do anything with you as an innovator? Maybe no, but maybe yes. If you were to kind of make an innovation which actually brought the mindfulness of people together, they would actually eat how much they had to without overeating, and thus, the whole problem of overeating or mindless eating wouldn't come. Okay, the Japanese very elaborately speak of hara hachi bu, which means eating only around 80% and leaving 20% for the foods to digest. But I think our text from the very start also gives similar advice. So here we have all of you all. How many people eat with hands? How many people use fork and spoons? Hands? Okay, perfect. Then you can clap. And you know how? Yeah. So like the thumb absolutely is your Agni. Okay, your fire. We know that Agni is the most important part for digestion. The fourth finger is Vayu. The middle finger is Akasa. So a lot of people who feel bloated need to look at this element. Then we have the Prithvi, that's the earth element, that's your finger, your ring finger. And the little finger is the Jala, water, which is also the theme for today's event. Okay? Even the way a meal was served, okay, it can talk about eliminating sugar, salt. Okay? If you look at the banana leaf, it began on the left hand side were foods which you were supposed to eat but in little. So your fries, your sugar, your salt, your achar, your chutney came in the left. The more wholesome foods kept moving to the right. Okay? And I think that clearly defines that, okay, there is no need to completely remove that. And in fact, these chutneys, these foods actually worked as nutraceuticals and bioactives then. So that small block of chutney actually became a very powerful way to deliver nutrition. Okay. Also, when you look at the grain-based nutrition, we look at urad dal, which was given way back in the Yajurveda. Okay. Again, grains and pulses we know is an excellent source of fiber. It's a good source. It's a great source of protein, and it's packed with a lot of multi-nutrients. Other things like masoor, moong, again were greatly used. We know today in a scientific thing that all of these have a lot of resistant starch, the slow digestive starch, and the rapidly digesting starch. Now look at some of the traditional foods and how they were actually balanced. So when you look at an idli, it is a perfect mix of your carbohydrates and proteins. Okay, all the amino acids which are missing in the rice are present in the dal. You adding sambar to it, you will add a whole lot of wholesome vegetables. Okay, you will add antioxidants to it. The little bit of tamarind which is added adds to the tartaric acid and helps. The powder, the spices actually are greatly helpful, and there was a recent study which was done that people in South India who consume rasam and sambar had the lowest incidence of colon cancer. Okay, which means that these were completely protective and these spices are healing. Okay. Likewise, if you look at the fermentation process, today the whole world aims for kombucha, miso, seitan, but these are inherent to us. They're brilliant. They are almost cooked in every household. Why cannot we do more innovations? Of course, there are companies like ID, MTR who have capitalized on this whole goodness of fermented foods, but I think a lot more innovation is required even with regular household foods. Okay? You look at something like a ragi hirukku, which was very regularly used, and ragi again is one of the highest sources of calcium. Great, it helps in improving the taste, aroma, decreases the tandoori dish. It's made, it's a fermented soybean dish. Okay, so a lot more innovations are also available in our country. If you go back to Manipur, Meghalaya, you will see so many innovations like black rice. You see the blue peas, which is there. Almost around 317 varieties of rice are there. The jackfruit which is there is in abundance, and a lot of it is actually wasted. Today we know jackfruit flour is a potent flour for used in diabetes. So can we not look at all of these components to make something innovative? Okay. We know banana, and banana has so many benefits right from at every stage of banana, right from a ripe banana to a raw banana to a banana leaf. Every component of the banana has so much of nutrition. Okay. Jackfruits again. Jackfruit again, even the seeds of the jackfruit are extremely high in calcium, and you could actually make a seed powder and use it as a milk replacer. So if you make a jackfruit seed milkshake and you commercialize it with some bioactives, I think it's a brilliant proposition. Look at weight